Good day, friends. Thanks for joining us tonight for the podcast, Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. We discuss a range of topics here that include abuse of all types, religious hurts, and more important, recovery from those issues. This live platform offers counseling sessions, meaningful question and answer, and a counseling continuum. The team includes Mrs. Lolita. She does our programming for us. This is Tennille, Technical Director. We have a host of exciting contributors that come to us throughout the weeks, such as Raymond Edwards, business owner, Pastor Larry Brown, Dale Rude, he's an engineer by trade, Thomas J. Russell, founder of King Priest Program, a 501c program. Also, we have Tabitha Ward, one of our contributors. She's an accountant and is a mom and has, I think, 3 children. Also, we have Randolph Hunter, who's a minister. Also, Minister Samuel Cavan and Pastor Ricky Morris and Sandra Cavan, who's a mom and, of course, saved in the church there. And my name is Prince. I'm a licensed counselor and founder of Antioch Youth Center, a 501c not-for-profit retired. Thank our viewers and listeners for taking part of this broadcast and podcast. Last week had over 100 viewers and listeners. I want to thank you for that. Our technical director has expanded our outreach to iHeart, Sitter, Amazon Music, Pandora, In Review, and a host of other outlets. And we thank you for that. If you want to contact us tonight for your questions, you can. That number to give comments is 1-800-866-533664. I'll say it again, 1-866-538-3664. For counseling sessions, you can call in that Wounded Hearts counseling number off air, and that's 478-283-9093 or 478-784-7600. If you want to email Wounded Hearts, you can. You can contact us through email reeeechone@aol.com. Friends, this podcast, we discuss, again, an array of different questions and different topics we discuss. The position of our guests do not always connect or agree with the staff here, but we do open it up for opinions and ideas. And of course, be advised, some of the content sensitive and elicit listener discretion. But make no mistake, I think this is our 1-year anniversary tonight, so we're happy about that. But we do have the same focus we had a year ago, and that was 3 things: to instill and submit to you 3 things: reconciliation, healing within the Church of God. Those 3 things are paramount. So join us in this exciting venture. But tonight, I want to introduce our blessed guy. Glad to have him here, Ricardo Cordew. He's our special guest tonight. Well, where do I start? You talk about a busy guy. His bio almost wore me out, so to speak. But he's a graduate of High Point University. He's a professional life coach, founder of Cordew Productions, business consultant for the area here in Macon, Newtown, Macon. And also he's an author of an exciting book. We got a copy with our staff during the weekend, and it is called Rise Up and Pray. Also got getting revelations on how important prayer is. So Mr. Cordew, how can folks contact you if they want the life coach information, if they need help in that area? How can our listeners contact you for the book or for your expertise in consulting?
Yes. First of all, I just want to thank you for having me on your platform today. Truly appreciate this honor in this time period to share with you, with your community. And so, first of all, my name is Ricardo Cordew, and the best way to get in contact with me is going to the website, which is www.diligentforlifeglobal.com, and that's DILIGENT, the number 4, life, LIFE, global, GLOBAL.com. Once again, diligentforlife.com. That is the best way to get my book and also get in contact with me. Also, my Facebook is Ricardo Cordew. My Instagram is Ricardo Cordew, and my YouTube is Ricardo Cordew.
Made it easy.
Yes.
And friends, if you didn't get those, contact our information. We will gladly forward it on to him. And that's REEEECHONE@AOL.com. Mr. Cordew, you're an experienced life coach. Tell our listeners about that and what is a life coach all about?
Yes, definitely. So let me tell you that when I was about 27 years old, I'm 38 now, so about 11 years ago, I was going through a life journey. It's the first time I decided to become an entrepreneur. I was in sales for over 10 years previously from there doing that. And I was just going through a lot of challenges, learning about self-development, time management, spending time in prayer. All those things began to hit me at the same time. And what I started seeing is people started coming to me, asking me questions about, man, how do you control your time? You know, how are you increasing your sales? How are you seeing like you're always even kilter, no matter what you're facing? You know, what is it that you're doing? And so what began to happen is I used to just start talking to people. They used to ask me questions. And then all of a sudden, one day I was like, well, maybe I should try becoming a life coach. And, you know, I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, seeing that some things were certified, some things weren't certified. And so I went and got a quick certification just to make sure that I was doing something, just to show that I'm willing to put the education and the time into it. And so with that I was in prayer, and God gave me the message, Steps to Giving. Basically what it is developing yourself, showing love to your family, and teaching your community. And from that, it was the steps to giving that began to happen. And so I began to help people with that. And for more information about the steps to giving idea and concept and consultation, you actually can go and message me on the website, the Diligent for Life global.com to sign up for more information for that.
Wow. I noticed you have several videos on the platform dealing with Proverbs 26. What platforms are available to our listeners if they want to go to your platforms?
So right now on YouTube, my platform is Ricardo Cordew. And so I do have some videos. And so what it is I went through series of challenges. So I used to focus in on the Proverbs challenge. And basically what that was is basically for the entire month I had 31 days, I would read Proverbs every single day. And I would come on and expound on what I felt God was giving me in that chapter, in that verse every single day. And so what happened was people began to follow me and start doing the same thing. And what I realized is that not only does Proverbs give you wisdom, but it teaches you about some things called prudence. It talks about long suffering. It talks about so many things that can help you really gain control of what you're dealing with in life and allow you to be able to see through God's lens of how you should approach life, how you should treat people, how you should connect with people. Proverbs is a book of wisdom. And as more as you read it every single day, the better it will become. And that's the word of life that's working through you. So,
Mr. Director, any comments or questions from your end?
Not at the moment, no, sir.
Cordew Productions. What is Cordew Productions? I want to find all about you tonight. Cordew Productions.
Oh no, you're fine. So Core Production. So about 3.5 years ago, I was put in control of the media ministry at my local church, and I never did it before. But my bishop, he was like, "Man, you do so much already on social media. I think it would be a great fit. I think you would really take it off." And what happened? That's exactly what happened. The ministry I was able to make the Facebook page go from like 300 members to 1,000 members. Then we started having people in India, in Africa, and other places in the state wanting to figure out, oh, can we fly in, or can we pay you to teach us how to begin to market? And so what happened is the more and more people started reaching out, I just created the LLC because people wanted to pay me to do it. And so basically just serving, God began to make it grow. And so I don't push it as much as I used to because I haven't been over the ministry in a while. But when I get the chance to, I'm still able to consult with small churches to help them get their voice out.
I read in your bio that you've been exposed, I'm quoting, you've been exposed to many cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Which culture was the most exciting to you?
So people always ask me, it's like, where are you from? Your name is Ricardo. And my dad is from Panama. So I'm actually first generation Panamanian.
We have many friends in Panama, many.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go right ahead. I'm trying to interrupt you. Wow.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah. And so the
in fact, Tino, you're from Panama. Yes, he's from Panama. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wonderful.
And so growing up, my dad was in the military. So growing up, being this Panamanian kid who didn't speak Spanish, but I learned how to about the culture and about the community, about the family, and about what do you do to connect with people. And the first thing my dad taught me was food. My mother taught me you should never see a stranger. You should always say hello to people, no matter how they look, where they're from. You should always be able to do that. And from that, it taught me as I grew up, and now that I'm older, I see that my parents, even though they're not preachers per se, not over at church, they taught me how to reach the masses. My dad taught me how to read the masses through cooking. My mom taught me through communication and one-on-one. And so I just feel like I'm just living through what they taught me, and they was planting seeds in me at a young age that now allows me to reach multiple platforms. And so I'm doing the speaking when they're.
You speak Spanish? Do you speak Spanish?
I do not speak Spanish. See, that's the only thing. But here's the thing: the Holy Spirit always helps out.
You might speak in the tongue. That's true.
There
That's
you
true.
go.
All right, let's discuss the book. Rise Up and Pray. What was the impetus for writing the book?
So, like I was telling you about the journey. I was going through some tough times. Well, not even tough times, called challenges. And I remember sitting in my house and sitting there asking God, what's the next step? Like, I'm serving, I'm doing all these different things for other people, but it's like, I'm hurting here. What can I do? What can I change? What am I not doing right? And from there, I just started praying consistently. And I realized the transition from just praying to becoming on fire in prayer. And through that, God had me begin to just type up things that I would do daily. Whether it was calling somebody and say, hey, something in me just telling me to pray for you. Or whether it was just decreeing and declaring, speaking things over my atmosphere, speaking to my finances, speaking to my health, speaking to my relationships, speaking to my community. Whatever that was, I just did it and I wrote it down. And miraculously, as I was writing the book, I literally wrote the book in 21 days. Everything that's in this book came from that time period. And it just really encouraged me that where even at my lowest point, God still had his power, his hand on me. And that all I had to do was begin to open my mouth and pray consistently and continually. And God began to give me the energy, the insight. He began to connect me with people, and things started happening like never before.
Wow.
In the book, you were discussing the Lord's Prayer, and that resonated with us here on the broadcast. Ricardo, what does that mean when it says forgiving others as God forgives us? Tell us about forgiveness and how that works and what you found in writing the book about forgiveness.
I think the biggest thing that I can say about forgiveness is, first, it starts with you. Forgiveness starts with you. You got to be able to look at I always tell people, look in the mirror. You got to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you look at yourself in the mirror, clearly you can start seeing some flaws that you have. And as you're spending time in prayer and you're reading the word and you're like, God, how can I forgive somebody if I felt like they despitefully used me, they misused me, they abused me. I started understanding. God showed me that in that time period, that it's not that they meant to do it. It's just like you make mistakes. If you say you want to lose 10 pounds and you start eating snacks every day, you stop exercising and you gain 10 pounds, that's the same mistake that you have to give grace to other people, because they make mistakes too also. Sometimes they can be pushing for a goal and not realize that they're stepping on other people's feet to be able to get to that goal, and they misuse you. And so don't internalize it. Don't take heed to it. Forgive them, so that with you forgiving them, then you can forgive yourself, and then you can begin to alleviate what the enemy has set up as a trap. Now you win. Now whatever that was set up for you to discard you or hurt you, now God will open the door for you to be able to testify to somebody else, to encourage them to keep going, to keep growing, because life is life. Life happens.
Ms. Director, do we have any comments or questions?
Yes, we do. Miss William asked, what about when they intend to hurt you?
That's a great question. When they intend to hurt you. Well, I know when it comes, that's why you have to be prayerful always. I start the book talking about how Daniel prayed 3 times a day, like consistently, to the point even when he was praying, somebody was planning, like, oh, he's praying. The king said, let's press this, let's put this law into place that will stop him from praying. That person planned to destroy him. But what happened? God came in the end, and he won in the end. It's going to happen. People are jealous of you. They want your gifts. They want everything that you have. There's always somebody who sees you and wants something from you, because they want to be like you, or they feel like what you have will help them break through whatever situation they're going through. So it's not about them planning to hurt you. It's about you thriving through the hurt and showing them that it's not going to shake you. It never shake. You got to shake it off. You got to be quick to recover. In this life, you got to be quick to recover and slow to speak, but quick to hear, so you can see. And God will give you insight to avoid certain things.
All right, friends.
Quick to recover.
I'm going to come back to the questions about the abuse. You sound like you've been through some things, and I want to hear more about that. But before we do, friends, this is Wounded Hearts, Wounded Churches. And thanks for joining us tonight. We are a podcast that focuses on forgiveness, reconciliation, and healing within God's church. We're here for you. We love you. We want to see you recovered and get back to serving God again. Brother Cordew, you mentioned being hurt and abused. I'm sure in the corporate world, you see some of that hurt and abuse, don't you?
Definitely. I would go to tell you that when you are doing something that you know you're supposed to be doing, you're gonna have an ease about you. You're gonna accomplish things in record-breaking time.
Yeah,
and
true.
People who are not standing in the right position, they're not in the right job, they're not in the right career, they're not right mentally, they're not right with God emotionally, they're gonna be there to snare you, to trap you. They're gonna be there. And you have to know that is just a test for you to get to your next breakthrough in life. You cannot stumble and not have elevation. It's going to happen. You're going to stumble, but that stumble is somebody trying to trip you up. But you got to know you have the power and you have the ability to be able to overcome everything, because God said he won't give you nothing more than you can handle. His yoke is easy. He will make room for you.
Friends, if you want to contact us tonight, you can, about the book or about our discussion. Again, that number you can call is 1-866-538-3664. Brother Cordew, you mentioned about the trap. Is unforgiveness, could that be a trap for some people to get caught into?
It's definitely unforgiveness is self-sabotage.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wait, hold on.
I know, I like that.
Let me, like they say,
I like
stop,
that.
reverse. So you said unforgiveness is self-sabotage?
It's self-sabotage.
Can you expand on that, please?
Please.
Because here's the thing.
All right.
When you focus, anybody who's successful in life, they have some values,
Right.
they have some principles that they follow. And in every principle, it talks about you loving people unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are hurt, if you are congealed with anger or hurt, you can't think freely.
True.
Your spirit man
True.
is muzzled. The things that you would say to have the audacity to speak faith to something that's false, to make it truth, you won't have the ability to speak it out your mouth. You won't even pray it. You'll get to the point where your prayer, you will stop coming to church or even going anywhere expecting God to do anything.
Lord bless.
I mean, I would say that the muzzle, you truly would have a muzzle on your tongue. And until you can forgive and forget, not forget to the point where, oh, that person, tried to trap me and all this stuff like that. It's okay. That's wisdom. You know that's what that person did to you. So don't set yourself up to go through that again, right? You learn from it. But that muzzle, that unforgiveness, that self-sabotage, which everybody at some point, if it's not unforgiveness, it's not believing that you can accomplish. It's the same thing. It's that I love this analogy. This is one of my mentors told me. He was like, Ricardo, do you want to be a millionaire? And he was like, I was like, yeah. And he asked me, he's like, why do you want to be a millionaire? And I started talking about the church and how much I want to donate and all these things like that. And I started getting excited about it. And I was like, he was like, okay, now I want you to hear me say, I want to hear you say, I am a millionaire. And I said it, and he was like, now, you know that feeling? Did you feel free when you said it, or did you feel like a tightness or a hindrance, like where it was holding you back from really believing it? And I was like, yeah, I felt like a tightness. He was like, well, how can you be a millionaire if that tightness is sent to block the work of your hands, the work of your mouth? And until you feel a flow, a freedom to say I'm a millionaire and know it, like you expect it, you're walking into it, you're growing into it.
Okay, I'll follow your analogy. Okay, so if I say that I've forgiven Mongo Joe, whoever, and I'm not really feeling it, or I'm not acting on it, or I'm not doing it, I've not forgiven him, really, have I?
No, you haven't. You're stuck still. You still have not passed the challenge. Because once you go through the challenge of freeing yourself, you got to free yourself in your spirit, man, inside. Go ahead.
So there's a forgiveness there's a freedom in real forgiveness.
Yes, it is. And it's not only a know that you know, but it's a sleep that you know. Like you feel it all over you. You smile in it, you rest in it. And people are like, why isn't it working? They're frustrated because it's not working anymore.
Mr. Director, any questions and comments on you, sir?
Not at the moment. I'm enjoying this.
So you also, I'm taking notes as you speak. You also talked about a quick recovery. Ricardo, you're talking to someone who's not going to church now. They've been wounded, this or that in the church. What would you tell them about recovery?
Yeah, you see, I got to take a deep breath.
Right? Take your time, because you mentioned that area of quick recovery, and you're talking to someone right now who has been wounded in the church. They've been maybe put aside, or someone said something that said something. It could be a quadri of things, a myriad of things, but they're hurt and they feel to stop going to church in their home, but of course they're not happy there. What would you tell them that would add to their recovery to get them back where they need to be?
So all I can say is that prayer was my quick recovery. Because when I tried to do the things that made me happy. So whether it was, okay, let me eat my favorite cake today, let me go exercise. It didn't work. It was temporary, but I was avoiding the work. I was avoiding that alone time with God, because the alone time with God, and we can go into the next question with this. That seclusion is where I found peace. The seclusion in prayer, to be able to understand and see. I don't know about you, but I started imagining myself when I read the scriptures, when I read the word, I start thinking about, what if I was David and I was, going against Goliath? How would I feel? Like, I put myself there, because there is a Goliath in your life, and
True.
that can be self-sabotage, that can be anger, that can be hurt. That Goliath in your life, I put a message out the other day, is like, you can't pray in fear and defeat the enemy. You have to pray from a strength of power, a place of power. And the reason why is because that seclusion time period, that's the time when you get to express your feelings, express your thoughts. And unfortunately, we go through a place now with our community. We have so many distractions.
Very true.
I ask people, it's like, when's the last time who prays? It's like, when the last time you sat there for 20 minutes, didn't have your phone around there, didn't have your computer going, didn't have your TV running, just for 20 minutes, and just said, God, you talk to me. And
Please go ahead.
It's something that people have lost, that mindset that when I pray, I'm just praying, but I need God to speak to me, because I need to have clarity on the things I need to do, how to approach life. How can I heal? I can't heal from a definition. I have to heal. Only God can heal me. And if I don't spend enough time in prayer, I can't heal. I can't have a quick recovery. I can't endure for a night so joy comes in the morning.
Friends, our time is beyond gone again, and we're going to have Brother Cordew back to talk about this idea of self-sabotage.
Yes.
And the healing that comes when we don't seek the Lord. He also mentioned the quick recovery and how being trapped in unforgiveness can ultimately cause you to self-sabotage. And that's quite common. This podcast is by a Church of God, for a Church of God, for those who are saved. Many have been wounded. We're reaching out to you today. There's help and hope. When you're hurting, it's difficult to serve God effectively. So with that in mind, our focus is to help the hurting with discussion, dialogue. We must discuss it to solve it. May the Lord bless you. See you next week with Mr. Cordew. Mr. Cordew, thank you so much. It's been insightful. Want you again next week to conclude your thoughts on being trapped and self-sabotage. Thank you, Cordew, and our director. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Amen.